Hello and welcome to the Paper Airplane Lab. This is where I teach you how to fold paper airplanes that fill the sky. My name is Edward, and as you saw in these test slides, this plane is pretty good. And my favorite part of this plane is the air intakes. And it's really cool because they connect to these engines. And then it has afterburners at the bottom. So I'm really excited to teach you this plane, which is called F-17 Night Owl. Let's get folding. Now, for this plane, I used an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper cut square. You can use any size square, but I'm going to teach you how to cut an 8.5 by 11 inch paper square. So, you can get your regular paper. It doesn't have to be 8.5 by 11 inch if you're going to cut it square. It can be A4 or other sizes, but I don't have A4 with me right now, so I'll just use 8.5 by 11. So we'll fold the top edge to the right edge, or the left edge, it doesn't really matter. Flip the paper over, and then we're going to fold this edge back. So our new edge that we're going to make, which is the folded edge on top, lands on this bottom raw edge. So it should look like this. Unfold this, flip the paper over, and then unfold this. And then you can just cut on this line. Just cut on this line. But I'll show you how to cut without scissors. This is awesome. Fold on this line. Unfold, flip the paper over, fold on this line. Unfold, flip the paper over, fold on this line. Keep doing that. Okay, once you got it about 5 times, then you can get a little tear at the front, a starting tear, like that. And then make the paper like a mountain, and then just pull these edges apart. And then I like to sometimes do little tears. And then right at the end, you gotta be really careful so the end doesn't rip, and then just tear that all the way off. Now, you can use this for something else. Like, you can make different things with this. I won't be teaching you how to make anything with this in this video, but I will be teaching you how to fold the F-17 Night Owl. Let's get folding. If you're not using paper cut square, then you can just use any other square, but you can fold, like, if we are, you don't have to make this crease if you're using regular square paper without this crease, but if you are using it with this crease, go ahead and fold it the other way. If you're not using paper with the original crease, don't bother. Unfold that. Okay. Now we're going to fold this in half. This will be your first step if you're using regular square paper, not cut square from a rectangle. Just fold it in half. Unfold. Fold the top edge to the bottom edge. But don't make the full crease, just make a little pinch mark. A pinch mark is just a little tack right there. Fold this top edge to your pinch mark, again making a little pinch mark. Unfold that. Gonna make another pinch mark by folding this edge to here, making a pinch mark. And then one last time, we can fold this edge to here, and then making one more pinch mark. That's a lot of pinch marks. But this one is going to be our reference. We're going to fold in between this right here and somewhere down here, and our other reference is for this to go land on the center crease. So you can watch me. So I'm starting right here. I'm kind of like bending that. And then I want to bring it over and then flatten this layer so this edge lands on the center crease, while this crease going up lands on that point. And we're only creasing to the center crease. So I'm not doing that bulge of paper. Same thing on the other side, just like kind of pushing from behind so I can see this layer coming into place. And then fold this, bring this edge down, and then swing it so it lands onto the center crease. And not the center pinch mark. It's going to be a little bit below the center crease, and then we're not creasing all the way out here. Okay, once you are done with that, we're going to do a part that has this, it's kind of cool. I'll demonstrate. So we're going to make this crease a mountain fold, this center crease a valley fold, this top part of the center crease a valley fold, and these are valley folds. And that is right. So this top portion should stay valley, this middle portion or this longer bottom portions should stay mount or turn into mountain, and then these creases should stay valley. I'll show you what that looks like. So we're kind of getting this hand, putting it underneath, and then kind of shaping this like a mountain. And then you can kind of like pinch this crease and then put your hands and then squeeze these together. And then it's cool because this is going to be the top of our fin. And the fin is flat on top, and that's what we like. Crease everything sharply. And then we're going to do another pinch mark. We're doing quite a lot of pinch marks. We're going to fold this top part of this edge to here, but we're only making a pinch mark. See, just pinching that down. Unfold that, and then we're folding this edge to this edge, but not making a pinch mark. We'll just crease all the way through. Unfold that, and now it's time for probably the trickiest part of the whole plane. I know this is going to be tricky, but it's going to be worth it. So, I'll try to keep this in camera. So, I want to kind of bring this edge up. I want to try not to get my hands in the way. I want to bring this edge up while keeping this edge from sliding. And then you can see it's kind of acting like this. And then we will you can stick your fingers into this pocket and then kind of squash fold this down, but we're not going to totally squash fold this yet. We're going to end up folding this edge in, or this in half, lining up these two corners, and then book matching this by just making these two edges equal, and then flattening those edges so they are equal. I'm gonna flip it over and then just work on the other side so they're equal. Equal. So once we're done that, we have finished the hardest part of the plane. And then we will going to open this up on this existing hinge-like thing. And your plane should look like this. Now, what we're going to do is flip the paper over. And then we can do another existing hinge thing by just folding this edge like this on this existing hinge. And now, like I said earlier, this is our fin. It's pretty cool. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you what we did just to make this fin. We made all of those creases just to go collapsing this into one fin. It's kind of cool. Once we made that crease, you can lay the fin to either side, and then we will flip the paper over again, and then we're going to fold these corners to these corners. We're just folding a crease in between there. Once we are done with that, we can fold the top corners to the center crease. We're going to make that a line. And we're not actually going all the way to the center. We're making a little gap that's probably 1/8 of an inch. Maybe, yeah, 1/8 of an inch. Maybe maybe like less than 1/8 of an inch. But you can kind of see my gap. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, making a little gap. Making this gap will make it easier for one of our future steps. Okay, now we're going to fold in between this top point and this bottom corner. And this isn't going to go all the way to the center crease. That's okay. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Just folding in between that top point and that center crease. Or no, the top point and this corner on the bottom. Every once in a while, I would just like to really crease everything sharply, making everything flat so this plane will be aerodynamic. Now you can go ahead and flip your plane over and see it's starting to take shape. Now, I want you to note something. Note where these two corners are, or these two creases are, and if they were joined together, then they would, and then this is where the center point is. So we're gonna fold the top edge down. I know these are really thick layers in between those 2 points. You can really crease that hard. Unfold that, and we have a little crease there. Once again, you can lay our fin to one side. And then you have your crease right here that goes all the way across. Then we're going to fold in between this crease and this corner. Unfold that and do the same thing on the other side, really working this layer, trying to control these layers right here, trying to not make them slide. Now it's time to do our jet fold. Now we left that gap in between the center crease just to make this a little bit easier. And then now what we're going to do is like push on the center crease and then push these edges together. And then it should be pretty easy to collapse this up all together. Hold the bottom, and then kind of flatten this out. Once again, just do a little flattening here. Now, normally with jets, you would fold these wings up and these would be the wings. Not the case with this jet. Nope, not the case. I might make a jet that has. I might make another jet that's similar to this jet that would have that step, but not in this jet. Now we're going to do a bit of a harder step. So we have to make sure these layers don't slide, these layers. So you have to pinch them really tight to the center. And then we're going to open up these layers. And then kind of undoing the jet fuel a little bit. And then pulling this down, the wings down, while we're pinching this. And you want to really pinch it at the end like this rather than all the way up here. You just really want to pinch it at the bottom. And then once you got your, you can make this, these will be your wings that we are going to fold up. So make them as wide or as narrow as you want. It doesn't really matter. The narrower the wings, the faster it will go. I like to make mine pretty narrow, but you can, of course, make yours narrower. This will make wings about an inch wingspan, a 1-inch wingspan, rather than like a 3-inch wingspan that you might think, because we're going to end up folding this edge to the top. Well, we're going to fold this edge to this corner in between this point. So it's not going to go all the way to this back layer. It's going to go a bit down. This will look similar to a plane that I will be posting called Javelin, but I'm not going to be posting that one quite yet. Flip the paper over, and then fold the other wing. Now, we have our general shape of the plane. We don't have our air intakes yet, nor our engines, but we'll work on those at the very, very end. So you can kind of shape your plane into how you want it. I'm just flattening my layers once again. I do a lot of flattening in this plane. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna not all the way lay this flat, but we're gonna kind of open up these layers a little bit so we can work in this middle section. Gotta really closely look at this. So we're going to fold this edge to this crease. Or, yeah, to this crease. Wish I had some kind of marking tool. But I'm gonna just show you this crease, and we're folding this edge to that crease. Now, this is kind of difficult because these layers right here are so thick. But I'm gonna really work this layer in. In under these layers. Maybe not to that crease. probably more of like past that crease. And then once we have that done, we can open this up and then just pull that under. And then we can move over this fuselage. Can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to make the middle portion stick up rather than to the side. So you can see what I did. I just pinched that and then really worked those layers. Now you can flip the paper over and then redo that jet kind of shape. Our layers now lock together, which is totally awesome. Just makes this plane fly so good. Now, these layers, like, they're not gonna try to come apart like some other planes, like some older models that I haven't posted to YouTube yet, like a plane that I will post to YouTube called Sky Slammer, but this one won't just naturally come apart. This one will hold together, but it doesn't really lock together. But it still flies great. Now, where are those afterburners that I was showing you in the beginning of the video? Well, you have to open. This plane isn't going to fly like this. It's gonna fly like more open. So we're gonna kind of open this up, and then you see these two little flaps. Those are gonna be our afterburners. You can kind of almost squash fold those. Kind of want to get your fingernail or something like a pencil into that. I don't have a pencil right now, so I'm just using my fingernail. But, sorry you can't see this, but you can kind of make your afterburner. And then you can do, of course you can do that on the other side, but it's going to just be too hard for me to show you on screen, so just do the same thing with that other smaller flap. Now it's time to make the air intakes and the engines. We're going to do both of those at the same time. Now we're just going to kind of stick our finger, well, we are going to stick our finger into this pocket, making our first air intake. You really want to shape it to how you want. It could be from this to something like this. They look really similar, but you can really do a shape that you want. You can actually put creases right here that make it look like a star, but for this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing like this. And then now it's time to make our engine. So get the back of the wing and then just pull it up, kind of like making the afterburners. Just stick your finger in there and then squash it. That's our engine. This won't fly as well with the engine up like this, so when you fly it, you can put down the engines. But that's okay. Now, once you are done with that, you have a finished F-17 Night Owl. If you want to give this plane a really hard throw, I love the top of the fin that is flat. Hope you have a good time flying. See you later. Bye-bye.